A room with a view of the whole city. Fashion luxury, that's what he's got pretty.
The airport in Bangkok, it has a new terminal, namely the satellite terminal. And that means you take a train from one side after passing through security over to the satellite side, and there everything has been completely redone. First of all, this train is new.
Luxury traveler crossing the seas with style and a dream that never leaves. From the skies to hotels in every place, I'm living my life in my own pace. Luxury traveler crossing the seas with style and a dream that never leaves. From the skies to hotels in every place, I'm living my life in my own pace. Luxury traveler, I go full speed. Sometimes I get lost in all of this shine, but the world is my home and it pulls me back fine. With each step I take, horizons stretch wide. A new destination, always more to find. Luxury traveler crossing the seas with style and a dream that never leaves.
Even when you arrive, you already have to deal with it. So you also have to take this train like in Dubai. And then you arrive there and it's just, well, as it always is. It's a new area. But unfortunately, it's not finished yet, and it should have been completed and finalized before it was even opened. But they said, what the heck? We'll just start with the opening, like with hotels, and then we can already start making money from it. And those are exactly the problems. So you could find out, for example, that the Emirates Lounge, which is located upstairs on the first floor in the middle, is not easy to find at all. There is absolutely no signage to help you find this lounge. Furthermore, there is the Miracle Lounge. There are two of them, one business and one first class. And both of these lounges are very difficult to find. Only when you look a bit more closely and know which direction to go, because there is so little information here as well, do you eventually find these two lounges. So, while everything is, I would say, wonderfully and nicely done with elephants at the entrance, what we guests need, hello Bangkok, Suvarnabhumi Airport, we guests need signage. Information. This means that when I arrive after taking the escalator all the way up with the train, I need information signs that tell me to the right is the Miracle Lounge, to the left is the Emirates Lounge, and then, of course, clearer and more distinct signage about these options. Where are the gates? But always writing 110 ABC. There is also confusing. 110 is the gate and not 110. AEB, whatever that means. Interestingly, what I find well done for the handling of the A380 aircraft is that you go from top to bottom here, not from bottom to top. That's only difficult when you arrive. Then you have to make your way up from the bottom. This means that for the departing passengers, it has been relatively well solved. For all arriving passengers who come with their hand luggage, they first have to make their way up from the first level, then go to the train, travel down again, and then head over to arrivals for immigration. I must honestly say, it is generally a good atmosphere. They have done it all nicely, but unfortunately, as is often the case, it is not finished. That is the tragedy of today's times, that unfinished things are simply made available. We then have to see how we manage. And if you demand a little something here and there, well then everyone stands there and says, yes, we don't know either and have no idea. And that is exactly the problem. We as guests are always left alone. Always have to deal with everything ourselves and then have to figure out where something might be hidden that we actually want to find. Overall, this satellite terminal is nicely done. Unfortunately, not finished. It could have been better. But I remain hopeful for the future, that it will be upgraded and adjusted in the future. However, what I seriously find to be a real disaster are these paths that have been made, which are of course necessary for people who are blind, so that one can practically find the way from point A to point B. But for us with our rolling suitcases, having to go over these things, every time and constantly lift them because it's so difficult to roll over them is, in my opinion, an advantage for a small portion of people, but a real imposition for the majority of passengers. And I have to say, that's why from my side, there's a thumbs up for this airport in Bangkok, Suvarnabhumi, Satellite, this new opening, because they have considered people with disabilities. However, there's a thumbs down because they have made very poor signage and because they have made these significant paths for the blind very inconvenient for us with rolling suitcases. It is indeed really a problem, and that's why it's a 50-50.
Above the clouds, the Hun flies. Every destination brings joy to his eyes. He knows the best hotels,